Good morning, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the Empowered Career Woman podcast. This is Cathy, and thank you so much for joining me today. I know it's super early here in Seattle. I am here for work, and I decided to jump in a little bit earlier just because I have meetings today. I know it's a Saturday, but I have a work meeting later on at 9 a.m. So I am popping on early. And thank you so much for those who are joining me today. Good morning. Wow. So it has been a really busy few days. And, my sister lives here in Seattle. Don't know if you guys know that, but uh, I know for a lot of my friends and family um, who follow me, they know obviously my sister lives here. So we got to hang out a little bit last night for dinner, and it was so wonderful to just connect and just refresh. And after working so hard for these last few days, it was nice to just kind of reconnect, and got to see my brother-in-law, so I am so happy about that. uh, Anyways, I have my coffee in hand. I mean, this is not a paid sponsorship whatsoever for Starbucks, but I had to get my Starbucks this morning. This morning, I am talking about the idea of having to be perfect all the time. There is no such thing as perfect, but I'm really guilty of this as well. And I wanted to talk about this with you because it's been something that's been pressing in my heart. A lot of people have talked to me about this in regards to their lives, and really what they have to do, even with work or being a mother or being, at home, and the things that you have to work on. And so this idea of having to be perfect is such a crazy thing. I think social media today, uh, you know, there's so many pictures of you when you're scrolling and you're looking through all of these things, all these pictures or videos and everything. See all these people who have the perfect lives, they have the perfect whatever it is. And it's just not real. I mean, I don't know how many pictures I have to take myself, and I'm like, "Okay, that's not great. Let me do it again." And I mean, my husband already knows that he has to take at least 5 pictures before I'm like, "You know what? I like that one." And so it's just not real. And I wanted to bring this to my empowered career women who are my followers and my listeners, because you don't have to be perfect in life. You really don't. I learned this a long time ago, that perfection is, I know that there's a lot of people who are like, you have to strive for that. You have to strive, to be perfect. I don't believe it. I really honestly don't believe it. And to be honest, you're trying to reach something that is not real, I have to say. Don't get me wrong. Let me say this. You have to put in work in anything that you do, whether it be a marriage, whether it be taking care of your health, whether it be you in your career, or whether it be you taking care of your children. It's not being lazy. You have to put in the work. That is for sure. But this idea of being perfect is this idea that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Um, Years ago, when I was early on in my career, I remembered, like, I really wanna get to this next level, and I wanna get to this next level, and I want and it and there's nothing wrong with ambition whatsoever. But in that process of wanting to be this perfect person and this perfect idea of an employee, I got myself sick through that process. And I know that there's business owners out there, and there's friends of mine who have, pushed themselves even to the point of getting sick. And so I really wanted to take the time today of letting you know that it's okay to not be perfect. it's great for you to push and to have ambition and for you to go through life working super hard. And even if you're not where you want to be, you are that's part of the process. Um, it's really funny because growing up, my dad and my mom, they really pushed us really hard in regards to, being the best, being first. It's funny because when we were growing up, we would wait in front of the door as the door was about to open, and my dad would push us in to be the first person walking into the classroom. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And I think it was like a superstition that if you walk into the classroom the first, that you're gonna be the best and you're gonna be the one who's gonna, like, push through. I don't know what that was, but I think I also passed that on to my daughter, and, she plays basketball, and I have to say, it's two-sided, and there needs to be a balance. So we push her super hard to achieve, to push through life. But if she makes a mistake, it is okay. And I guess that is why I'm doing this podcast specifically, because it's okay to make mistakes along the way. It is okay to push through and not be perfect all the time. I'm learning, even just in life, that you have a pathway, like you have this whole set, like, okay, this is how my career is going to be. I have this plan, this plan, this plan, and this plan. And then a monkey wrench happens, like health, like, I don't know, you don't have the urge anymore to want to get to that next level or whatever that next step is. And that's okay. It is okay. And it's really funny because I was such a perfectionist. I'm a Virgo, by the way. And so for all you Virgos who are out there, I think you understand this. We want everything aligned in a perfect situation, and not there's no we don't really want um things to come our way, like to change things around. We like it and in order. Then I realize that that's not life. And actually, a few years ago, I got this book given to me by two different people. The book is called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And it's all small stuff, by Richard Carlson. And that was a hint that I don't have to focus so much on that perfection and having everything aligned in the exact same way that you thought it. Because guess what, you guys? Life happens, and you have to be flexible with yourself. And you have to know that things are going to happen, and you have to be able to be flexible and be, pliable, if you would. Uh, at my current career, my current job, we say OPF, open, positive, and mentally flexible. And it's so true because life happens everywhere and anywhere and all the time. And like I had mentioned, when early on in my career, I was like, I want to be this next, I want to become the VP of this, and I want to do this. And then I was laid off. And I'm like, wait, what's happening right now? How am I here? And it was just a huge monkey wrench in life. And um, I couldn't get stuck in the fact that I didn't get to that spot, but I just had to know that if I continued to find the passion and keep on striving, that I'm going to eventually get to that happiness. And I loved when I first joined my current company that one of my leaders said to me, "What's your happy?" And that stuck with me. Like, what is your happy? And I realize my happy is not having to be perfect and having everything align the way that we think that it needs to be. And so perfection is not real. I know that we see that in social media. I know that we see that everywhere, but I think the key thing is progress is the key, that we have to push through whatever the situation is. And um, from a personal note, I've seen people who have gone through whatever struggles as well, um, where they have strived to hit whatever career pathway that they wanted. And because of health or family situations, it never happened. But did they give up? Absolutely not. And are they bad because they didn't get to that next level? Absolutely not. The cool thing is they've grown because of the journey that they have gone through to get to where they're at today. Even if they don't have that title, even if they don't have that whatever that they thought that they wanted at one point. Who knows? Like, I'm starting this podcast and um in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this podcast is going to take off. I'm going to have millions of followers. And that is still my goal. I would love to still be able to touch so many people's lives, um, especially women and women in careers and women who are balancing family and life and spouses and all of that. And I have to say, I don't know where life is going to be in a year from now. I don't know where life is going to be 6 months from now. I don't know where this podcast is going to go. And I have to be flexible with myself in all of that. And so, as we talk about being this perfect person here's the other thing too. My mind's kind of going all over the place. It's early in the morning. It's not even 8 o'clock in the morning yet. But I remember, this is just life right now. Uh, I, when I lived in Phoenix, I don't know why I had this idea that I had to have my house sparkling clean like spectacular every single time, just for people to come into the house and they didn't see chaos on my kitchen table or dishes in the sink. I don't know. And I have to say, I was working so hard. And then I get home and my husband and I were like juggling all these things. And I'm like, okay, we have to wash the dishes. We have to do all of this. And oh my gosh, it really got me sick. Just take the time to relax. It is okay that there is like a cup or a dish or something in the sink and that's not washed. It's fine. Take a breather. And, I know it's such a simple story, but, this idea of having to be perfect all the time is just not a reality. And then going back to my daughter, as I was mentioning, you know, we pushed her super hard in basketball. We really did. And I feel that she has learned how to balance her life with basketball, with her college career now, and she's in different club organizations and stuff. And we have taught her the value of determination, the value of hard work, and all of that good stuff. And I also know that we have taught her that it is okay that, you know what, if that she didn't pass this one exam, it's not the end of the world. And she can make it up by doing other things like extracurricular stuff. She can go and speak with her faculty member to get her grade back up, and it's okay. And that is something that I too have to learn. I had to learn early that it's okay that she doesn't have an A all A's. And I have to say, as she was in high school, she was, doing the international baccalaureate program, and she was playing basketball, and she was doing travel ball on top of her regular basketball, and she was trying to, get in front of colleges and everything. That was very, very stressful. And, you know, I realized that at the end of the day, she decided that she was gonna pursue her career anyway, and she still plays basketball, which is pretty awesome, but she does it through her club team and not for a school, although she had been offered some scholarships with schools, but she decided that she wanted to pursue her education. And I thought, you know what? That is awesome. Even though you think one way that this is how life is going to be, it just cut there's monkey wrenches and life happens, and it's not the way that it ends up. And today, right now, she is thriving. She's thriving, and I'm just so proud of her. I'm proud of my husband and I for backing off and letting her live. And I think that's why, this episode today is super important about this idea of having this perfected life or this perfect life. Life happens, and the pathway that you may have written out in your mind, it may not end up being that way. And it is okay. You are okay, and you're learning and you're growing and you're developing yourself in whatever pathway that you're in, even though you may not be where you want to be right now. And it's okay. And just feeling comfortable with, um, just being comfortable with that idea of, um, you are, not alone in this whole process. Trust me. When as I'm talking to all these, folks that, oh man, I wish, I'm at this age, like maybe in our minds, we're like, I need to be this, or I love this. I need to be, married at this time, or I need to have this at, I need to have a child at this time, and you're not there, and you beat yourself up because of it. You don't have to do that. You have your own pathway, and I believe that, um, you know, life happens, um, God places things in your life for a reason, and I really truly believe that your pathway is your pathway. And I had to learn this too, even with this podcast. You would not believe how long it took me just to, like, record my first episode, because I wanted this perfection. I thought, like, I needed to have this. You should ask, Eric, who is my podcast mentor. I'm like, Eric, I need to have this. I need to have that. I need to do. And he's like, just start. Will you just start? Just do it and get comfortable. And it was such an uneasy feeling, not knowing if I needed the right camera, if I had the right computer, if I had the right lighting, whatever it is. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even have, do I have this? Do I even have a logo? What? All of that. And it took me months. It took me months to get to even here. And even though a lot of people have been saying these last few weeks, which I'm so grateful for, that, you guys are saying that I'm unnatural and that you don't even sound nervous. I'm nervous. It's nerve wracking going in front of people, on Saturday mornings when it's just barely 8 o'clock here. and and having to speak my truth and my experience, it's nerve wracking, but I'm going to put it out there. And I pray and I hope that it's going to touch somebody's life, when, as you guys are listening to this, that there is zero perfection, and it is all about progress and your journey. And, so I really, um, this is an important one for me because I guess as I'm speaking with you, I'm speaking to myself as well that, hey, progress over perfection, right? I see that. Hey, Eric, you're on. Oh my gosh. Eric is in Hawaii right now and you are jumping on. Thank you for joining. Oh my goodness. Um, and that is so cool. Anyways, you guys, this is a Saturday morning. I love that you guys have joined me. I would love to hear from you guys too. Drop it in the chat. Have you guys ever felt this way before where you feel like, okay, I have had I wrote everything out in this nice to-do list or this whole plan of my life, and there was a monkey wrench that happened, and you couldn't get to that end result that you wanted. Anybody else have felt that way? And other than just me, because I know that there are out there that you guys are out there, and maybe sharing with others here on this live. What did you do to overcome some of those challenges that you experienced? Because it's so important that we kind of talk about this as a community. uh what It's not always going to be this one perfect idea that I'm going to be this all the time and this, you know. And like I said, life happens, and how do I overcome that? You overcome it. You do, and you go through it with with your process. So um oh yeah, I see so many people who have had all these big goals that they had written out, and then they've set shorter ones. Love that. Thank you, Amy, for sharing that. It's so key that we are flexible within ourselves, and being patient with ourselves is so key as well. Um, so take that time. I'd love for you guys in this upcoming week to start thinking about ways that we can share that knowledge with others in our community, how we can help. Especially the young generation of folks who, as you see TikTok, you see Instagram, you see all of these different platforms where they see these videos of perfect people with, they're dressed to a T, they have to have this certain look and whatnot. That's not a real thing. They have to get ready, and they go through life. They put their pants on the same as you and I. I'll just say that. And if you poke them, they will bleed like you and I. So they are normal human beings. They have normal feelings just like us. They have fears just like us. And this new generation thinks that, okay, if I do this, then I'm going to be a millionaire like that person, like this influencer. And that's not real either. They don't see all that behind the scenes hard work that these influencers have done over months, years, whatever that they're doing to get to the point where they're at. And so, this idea of being perfect is just not a reality. And being flexible and patient with ourselves throughout that journey is really really critical. So, um, I'm about to head out. Thank you so much to everyone who's here, following me and listening live on this live today. Um, I hope you guys enjoy your cup of coffee, and I encourage you and I lift all of you up. Thank you so much for joining me on the Empowered Career Woman podcast. Forgot about already. Empowered Career Woman podcast. And thank you. If you guys have not done this yet, subscribe to the channel and you will get my 5 steps to success. It's a free guide for you. Share it with somebody that you think that would benefit from that free guide. It's a really great tool that has helped me be successful in my career and in my life. So drop in, subscribe, and then share it with everyone else. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday. Thank you. I love you for joining me. Thank you. And have a wonderful Saturday. Talk to you soon.